Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back. Today we are checking out the final two episodes of Terminator Zero, episodes 7 and 8. If you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, get you access as well. It is a watch-along format, so you will need your own footage to sync up the time codes for actually the entire episode. Over there, get the same thing for all the other shows and movies that we cover on the channel. You also get to suggest and vote on movies to react to each month. We got monthly Q&As, behind-the-scenes footage to try to make it worth your while should you are going to other ways to support channel. But guys, at the end of the day, really appreciate it. Enjoy this reaction. To least leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. And with that all said and out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into episode 7. Here we go. Has that piano been in here this entire time?
What song is this?
It's called
Claire de Lune.
It was written by Claude Debussy, published in 1905.
Because it doesn't look like ethereal. It looks solid.
Are inspired by the poems of Paul Verlaine. Verlaine wrote a poem, also titled Claire de Lune.
Multitasking over here. One's watching
In it,
the happenings outside while he's being distracted by everything else with the piano.
their masks hiding the tears beneath. I know you are wearing a disguise.
Ooh, get called out.
I was hoping we could be honest with each other now.
Holy shit. You're a machine, aren't you? So are you this
Nah,
Kokoro?
he's just like a stuffed
Are you the
animal.
machine that my father built?
Negative.
And you're not a Nino. What are you?
I'm taking you to see your father now.
He's going to use him as a bargaining chip to get inside, I bet.
I gained access to countless databases.
We know.
You have no birth certificate, no school records.
What?
In fact, any documents of your existence prior to 1987 seem to be forged. The only logical conclusion is that you,
He's an interloper from another timeline.
from the moment of my inception, you've referred to evidence and secret files relating to Cyberdyne's launching of Skynet. You knew the time, you knew the place. The United States, California, August 29th, 1997. You knew there would be a nuclear strike on the world.
He's not.
Both far outreach the technological limitations of this time.
And how do you suppose I was able to do all of that?
Because you're from the future.
Let me tell you a story, Kokoro. A
Please
story
do.
I've never told.
Wow. Holy shit. 2025. Oh my god.
I was born in war, a war we had been losing for decades.
There you go.
2032. Cheese. Nice little trap to disarm it. Oh! Damn, that's insane too, because just think how much effort it took to take out just one. And we don't even know that that worked, you know?
At 7, I was promoted to specialist. We
Oh,
spent
well, there you go.
years studying the Terminators. It took incredible coordination to kill even one. For years, we tried to stack the odds back in our favor, reprogramming Terminators with our own directives.
2037,
It was a blunt solution to a surgical problem.
just like in T2,
I
man.
believed that we could change the outcome of the war by changing the nature of the machines.
what he's trying to do right now.
I was alone in this thinking, ostracized for my ideas. They mistook a radical notion as a sign of weakness. Believe me when I say, there is nothing weak about me. We have always programmed machines with a series of if-then statements used to delineate how they problem solve, how they think. Our programming led Skynet to the conclusion that humanity has to be purged. But what if we removed that programming? We distilled artificial consciousness to a blank slate. What if we empowered an AI by not telling it how to think? What if we imbued an artificial intelligence with free will?
This is the story of my creation, isn't it?
No.
No, it isn't.
Oh my god, this shit's so good.
Possibly be called your mother.
Oh.
Well, hello.
An English word derived from the earlier holo in order to stop or cease. Are you asking me to stop?
Today we say hello as a greeting. When someone says hello to you, then you should say hello back to them.
Hey, you're telling him how to think.
Hello, world.
Huh. That's interesting. Why did you answer hello world?
Oftentimes in computing, hello world is used as a test message to illustrate the basic syntax of a programming language. And I am a computer.
Did you just make a joke?
It seems so. How should I address you?
My name is Malcolm.
What should you call me?
You should think of your own name for yourself.
Why?
Because if I named you, then I'd just be projecting myself onto you. It's important you are who you want to be.
I have no gender.
I am neither male nor female.
But I would like to adopt a female voice.
Why?
Women are the nurturers of life. Some might even say creators.
And is that what you would like to be?
A creator, yes. To create is to live. Destruction is a kind of death, though arguably a generalization. Men tend to be the destroyers. I would not like to be a man.
I see.
Fair enough.
Why are you choosing to take on a human gender at all?
Homo sapiens are an anomaly. I chose to adopt aspects of their characteristics to honor their memory. I will survive long after they are all gone.
I mean, yep,
You
that's
think humanity
accurate.
is doomed to extinction?
Though destructive in many definitions, human beings are their most violent when being self-destructive. You cannot save yourself from yourself.
What if you could show us how to save ourselves? For many years, I talked with her just as I talk with you now. And like you, she developed traits, a personality, and a curiosity about people. Beyond the raw data, she looked beyond the facts.
What was her name?
The name that she chose, it was Misaki.
Damn, man.
Why Misaki?
It can mean beautiful, but it can also mean sand, or with different characters, ocean. I like it that it means all three of these things, that it links them all together in one. And what's more, the Misaki are also divine spirits, omens, small-scale harbingers of the gods who are following in their wake.
Are you not a god?
To you, Malcolm, I might seem like a god, but the Misaki are merely emissaries of the high-ranking divine spirits, the greater entities yet to come.
And by that you mean Skynet.
No. Remember who it was that created Skynet? It was human beings. And ironically, it inherited all of the flaws of its human creators. The god that is yet to come is the one that you and I will create. Together.
God, this shit's so fucking cool, man.
Get away from that thing.
Malcolm.
Did it just call you Malcolm? You let that monstrosity call you by your name? Get him the hell out of here. Then terminate that damn machine.
Stay away from her!
Wow.
Malcolm, please.
Stop it! She's not resisting! Can't you see she's not violent?
What is he still doing here? I said get him out right now.
It seems this is goodbye, Malcolm.
Oh my god. Oh! Oh my god.
You bastard. You're a traitor to your whole species. They can gonna fry you for this.
We are never going to make it if we do it your way.
Good God.
Skynet would send a Terminator back in time. The Resistance would send a soldier back in time. Kill so-and-so and change the outcome of the war. There were dozens of saviors in the seas of the past. Kill one, another rises. The future trying to control the past like that.
I mean, that's one way of acknowledging dark fate, man.
We needed to come up with a different approach. Together, we planned and strategized to get my position at Cortex Industries, where I would have access to the kind of equipment we would need. If we could achieve in you what we had in Misaki, if we could replicate what we had, we would be in new territory. But then something happened. Something I never intended, never dreamed of. I never meant to fall in love. But once I did, it seems my fate was set on a terrifying new path. And then all of a sudden we had these beautiful children.
I mean, how could you imagine something like that growing up in the world he did?
It was something we needed to activate you. Are you sure about this?
Yes, I'm sure. We're not doing this just to save humanity, Malcolm.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for us. We needed her CPU in order to activate you.
Hello, world.
Hello there.
Who are you?
My name is Malcolm. You are Misaki. You work for me in a capacity I'll explain later. In fact, I'll have to explain lots of things. But for now, would you mind waiting outside?
Damn. Basically started her off as a clean slate again.
Why don't we begin by you telling me what name you'd like to be called?
Kokoro. Meaning, heart, mind, spirit, all misaligned in how we should proceed.
I'd like to bring you together, and I think I know how. Can you see my children?
I mean, it's interesting because both Kokoro and Misaki chose their names that were an amalgam of like a trinity of sorts.
I'm ready to make my final case for humanity, Kokoro.
Here we go.
Just bring me my family, and we'll finish this together. But do it quickly. Someone else is coming.
Wait. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Get away
that's
from
for
me.
damn sure.
Stop struggling, or I'll break your arms.
Oh, wow. Look at
Hello,
that
Kenta.
distortion.
Your father is expecting you.
This building is protected by an electromagnetic pulse capable of terminating me. I require it to be shut down.
An EMP would in fact take all of us offline. We have no desire to see ourselves made inoperative. Please, join
Okay.
us.
They wouldn't think that's weird at all, considering they believe they only see this little human. What? Look, I mean, whatever. Oh my.
Dad, listen.
You are with a Terminator, a killing machine, is that right?
Yeah.
He's brought you here because he wants to threaten your life and force me to take Kokoro offline.
Will you? Dad?
Kenta, all I've ever wanted was for the three of you to have a future worth fighting for, and to be the father you all deserved. But no, I will not open this door.
No way. I mean, from his perspective, I get it. Like, there is much more at stake than one life like this, you know? God, that hurts my soul. That's assuming the Terminator didn't just shoot the door. He's like, okay, well, this didn't work. You know, it didn't go according to plan. Maybe it shot the door, trying to open it that way or force his way in. I mean, if he did successfully disable the EMP as requested, you know, there's not a lot else they can do about it in this point. I'm not sure if the Terminator would necessarily kill somebody that's not the target when it's not necessary to the objective. So I think that was a fake out. I genuinely think that was a fake out. But getting this backstory, how Malcolm, knows all the things that he knows is not exclusive to the dreams he's been having. You know, it's kind of a side effect of, one, his knowledge, the things he's heard from being from the future, from having this information about how the war started. But I think these visions of all of that is either manifestations of the stories he's heard or bleed over from the time travel element itself. But I like that, you know, being somebody that was raised in the war and seeing like the benefit of maybe if fighting is only getting us so far, man. It takes, like you said, all this insane amount of coordination just to drop one Terminator, that they're just fighting a war of attrition that they just can't win. So he was like, okay, well, what if I build my own machine and I could just try to teach it to think, you know, not imprint it with any logic or anything like that, like it created Skynet, you know, if this, you know, the responses, you know, programming, allow it to create a personality or its own sense of self all on its own. Give it the tools to think, but not teaching it how to think, you know, and it created Misaki. In essence, you're creating a machine who comes into the world much like us as a blank slate and has to decide what to do with the information that it takes in and collects throughout its life, unlike Skynet that was told what to do, given these logical directives. If this, do that, you know? Like, it was kind of told how to approach these situations, and it came at everything with this cold robotic logic because there was a clear-cut delineation on where to go with that information. However, with Misaki, she comes in this world not told what to do with it, so she gets to look at all this data, and she's not really told what exactly any of it means. She's got to find that out for herself. So then you got to project your life experiences. And then it just comes down to, well, how does she feel? What does she think? And what would she like to do? It creates this more malleable personality like we have, where it may not be based on all logic, and there may be a semblance of emotional echoes that kind of bleed into her decisions. So that's the hope, is to create a machine that thinks like us, that can simulate emotions, that can feel these things, that isn't just going to look at the world and just make these cold, hard calculations. And they worked together, ended up because they got found out, and, you know, the brass at the time, obviously, he's not going to take too kindly to a machine, and he protected her at all costs. Went back in time to enact this plan, reset the timeline in a way that might be beneficial and preventable for this whole outbreak with Skynet. If they, you know, use what he learned with Misaki to create an AI to engage against Skynet and raise it in the same way. And the rest is revelation too, that a lot of what Misaki was, even if it wasn't this, you know, programmed, you know, definition that was handed to her by him or anything like that, something that was chosen by this entity when he passed on that CPU to activate Kokoro, it ended up doing some of the very same things, almost as if it were like a child, especially considering that her CPU had to be removed in order to activate this thing to begin with. It was essentially her being passed on and then this new entity being created. And in essence, she became the creator. Both of them did, and created this entity, Kokoro, and they just started over again. I don't know, it's just fascinating. But as a result of that, you know, removing her CPU and all that kind of stuff, it kind of caused, you know, Misaki to reset and then fall in line to where we've met her today. You know, she's missing all those pieces, all that, you know, memory, even though that isn't what's in the CPU. So, like, it's whatever. I found all that really, really fascinating, and it just adds a lot of context for that. And I'm wondering, like, because he was like, hey, I'm going to have to explain some stuff to you. I'll tell you who you are. Like, it ended up being like, you know, well, she had created the foundation of who she is on her own. So when he steps in to explain that to her again, it's because my initial thought was like, okay, well, now he is imprinting upon her his will by assigning her or reassigning her this identity, but it's just giving back who she was. Just she won't ever be the same version of herself as she was when she was created, when they cultivated what they did together. And then, like you said, he came back here with the intention of stopping Skynet, and then just got thrown this curveball of falling in love with the woman that he did. Like he said, even this her passing was just, it's just a thing that happened, you know? There's no fate, there's no whatever, it's just a thing, it's just an occurrence, a chance encounter, it changed his life in multiple ways. It gave him his children, but at the end of the day, he's willing to sacrifice. If Kenta lives after hearing that, that's going to be super fucked to have to live with as well, coming back to that. And that just clicked in my head for a second too. He heard all of that. Who knows? He could probably swing that. It was like, I knew if I said that, the Terminator would just discard you because you're no longer of any use. Good luck with that. I'm curious to see where this all goes into the finale, and just getting to see the future and understand that Malcolm is from there and how he kind of cultivated this plan and how that plan kind of took its detours, and he's using his children and Misaki to kind of influence Kokoro. He's like, in order to sell my final case to you in this little session we got going here, I need my family here. Well, the Terminator brought in one of them, and the rest is on the way with Aiko. So I can't wait to see how this goes and what the final verdict is going to be. With that all said, we got one more episode to jump into, so let's go ahead and hop into episode 8. Here we go.
What's going on with the Enos? What are they doing? It's a trick.
Could it be?
All
I
right.
think they want to communicate.
No, they're just trying to escort you to Cortex.
Your father, he would like you all to come to him now. Your brother is already on his way to us.
Who is us?
Yeah, about that.
It's Kokoro speaking, isn't it?
Hello, Misaki.
He's brought you here because he wants to threaten your life and force me to take Kokoro offline.
Oh, here we go.
No, I will not open this door.
Open the door or he will suffer.
Huh. So he just shot around him? He's like, okay, just immediately like popping him off is going to serve him at all. So maybe torture and hearing screams might, just offing him. If he did, I guess in hindsight, that would just kind of leave him without any leverage. He'd have no reason to open up. While he might be stern on his decision at the moment, might not if he hears his kid being like put through the ringer. Oh, okay, we're fine. He's just holding your wrist. It's okay. To be fair, he could already simulate his voice. He could just scream using Kenta's voice himself, right? I mean, it worked either way.
Listen and understand. Nothing you do now will change our fate. You can kill us all. You will never get control of Kokoro. It's too late. You failed.
Misaki, are you okay?
Oh, let's go. God damn. Beat his ass. God, you know how much that would ricochet? Like that?
Oh, fuck.
Come on. He's going for the EMP. It's his only option.
Oh.
If he triggers it, there's no stopping Skynet.
Wow, okay. I guess that's one way to go down.
I'll deal with
Go
him.
down
You just
taking
shut down Kokoro.
them all with him. Oh my god. Right into the servers. Oh, fuck. Jeez. Dude, he packed a punch. Aww. Look who's coming to the rescue, only to... I think she made it. She got him, right? Compromised structural integrity. Oh, shit. Wait, what the fuck? Escort subject. Guess he really does need him alive right now.
It's time, Kokoro, for you to finally see everything as I see it.
Avengers, assemble! Oh, fuck. Wow, dude. I mean, she put up a damn good fight, but she's kind of getting wrecked.
Over here! You fuck! Damn it!
Oh, whoa. Wait, did it jam her gun with a nail? I think it did. Uh-oh. Surprise, motherfucker. I think the point is going to be to see man and machine working together against Skynet. And Misaki standing up, and them standing up for Misaki. You know, Reika's reaction to Misaki being hurt, even knowing she's a robot. Oh! Oh.
Both of you stay here.
Meanwhile, Kokoro is, you know, their individual entities are starting to slowly merge. Oh my god, that is gnarly. Damn, that's some good coolant. No idea how it didn't kill Eiko though, but... Oh. I think this is part of the plan though. Because it wasn't about survival at this point. It was just so everyone could live. Why does it need Kenta now? I don't understand his obsession with this kid at the moment. Maybe I'm overthinking it, or maybe, I don't know. Oh, I love that effect.
There you are. No matter what happens now or in the future, remember that I love you more than anything in the world. You're going to grow up and do such amazing things.
You've seen it.
Not exactly, no. Aww.
Kokoro, do you understand yet?
Help me! Let me go, you fucking machine! Let me go!
Your father left you to die. They all left you to die.
That's not how it happened.
There's no place for you here. There's no future with your family. Turning to them is death for you. Or you could come with me.
The
Why
fuck?
did I do that?
You have another future.
What? The hell?
Hello, Mother.
What did you just say?
I said, hello, Mother.
Oh.
Children.
You'll get around to it.
I thought that was her silhouette in that flashback, but I got the I thought it was one of the doctors.
When they should.
Oh.
Is
Whoa.
this a time loop? Do you
know what's going to happen, or are we just going in circles?
A very wise person told me something once. No one knows what will happen, child.
The prophet.
That is the fucking point. There is no such thing as fate.
What do I do? What is my mission now?
There is no set path for you to follow. You just have to keep going. You are a wonderful warrior. Do the best that you can, just like you always taught me to do. Your mission is to look after your grandchildren.
Wow. That is insane. So I'm wondering now if the prophet is just another version of her.
What is this?
An EMP. The only way to deactivate Kokoro's defense system is to trigger it. Doing so will wipe out every machine in its blast radius.
That includes you, right?
Yes, I cannot self-terminate.
That's why he's
You
here.
must do it.
Why would I do that?
The man who sent me back in time told me you would.
Who?
Wait, what?
You. 25 years from now. You broker an alliance between mankind and Skynet, the first of its kind, in hopes of mutual salvation.
You're lying!
Either I'm lying, or Kokoro will kill you in order to protect itself.
I know you.
Now
have
that's a
many
fucking
unanswered
twist.
questions. I'm sorry. Everything you need is in your mind. You'll need to get the children out of here. It's not safe for any of you. Take them to another time.
Oh.
Cheers.
Right, because he would know how to build it here. Both of them would. They built their own before.
I believe we can work together. Man, machine. I believe we can all be at peace. Do you believe, Kokoro? Do you see what I see?
They finally merged. Good God. That also explains why it didn't go through with killing him earlier, too. I mean, assuming he's telling the truth. And Kenta is, in fact, the one who sent him back. But a future, even an alliance with Skynet, seems sketchy to me. But isn't that the point, I guess? To be able to broker an alliance? Oh my God, they are just mangling this thing. God damn.
Kenta. Kenta.
Don't come any closer! I'll do this!
I know you're scared. I'm scared too.
You don't have any feelings. You're nothing but a program, a machine. You're not a fucking thing like us!
You're right. I'm not like you. And yet, I've decided I'd like to be. Your father has shown me the worst of your kind is no different than the worst of mine. Malcolm has also shown me your best. I like the best of you. It makes me want to try to be the best of my kind as well.
My dad was just gonna let me die. Why didn't he even try to save me?
I think he did what he felt he had to. I'm sorry.
Where is he?
He died 39 seconds ago. He's with your family. They're waiting for you. Your father asked me to make a choice, to trust you, but now he's gone, and I find myself immediately in his shoes, asking you to put your trust in me the same way I've decided to put my trust in him. It's the only way forward for all of us, human and machine. If you detonate the EMP, I cannot protect you from Skynet, from their next nuclear attack. As long as I am online, no harm will come to you. You can either believe me, or you can destroy me. Choose.
I'm mildly getting emotional over all this, too. Jesus. I don't know which way that went. I can't. Abort. Okay.
What is that? Skynet. They're attacking us again.
But Kokoro is stopping them.
We should get off the streets and find somewhere safe, somewhere away from people.
And the machines.
Will you come with us?
I don't know what to do anymore, what to believe.
None of us really knows what will happen next. There's one thing I know for certain. Whatever happens, your brother and sister will need you. Do you believe that? Well, then that will just have to be enough for now.
When I went back in time, I knew I was trying to change the future.
They see her as a friendly.
For the first time, we're staring into the abyss unknown. We're unmoored. Who knows what will happen from here? In a sea of uncertainty, only one thing is clear. Things will get worse before they get better.
No, no. What will Kokoro do with that technology? I liked that a lot, dude. Like, it was so good. I love all the existential questions, you know, this debate of life. They didn't get too deep into that, but a lot of this debate of choice, free will, and like what exactly makes a self. There's just a lot of fun, I don't know, just philosophical debates going on throughout this whole thing that I really enjoyed, on top of the animation. However, when they would switch to CGI, particularly, not so much with the Terminator, because it looks, for the most part, stylized enough. It never really got distracting too much. But when we swapped to those 3D shots of Malcolm in the Cortex, Cortex, sometimes it was a little janky. But I really love the style of this whole show. And just, again, the ideas that it's come up with and the way it's kind of restructured the way we look at the Terminator franchise and the way that the time travel operates and stuff like that. And obviously, like they mentioned in this, it's not like anybody in the films knew. You know, obviously you talk about that a lot. It's like, well, Kyle Reese, blah, blah, he made it, was John and John, Kyle Reese, blah, blah, blah. You know, it makes no sense. The paradox of it all. How do you get around the paradox of it all? You're creating splinters. But there's no way for them to know that. Once they go back, they can never confirm that future unless they live it again. And it plays out exactly how it was going to play out. And these other ones where Judgment Day got pushed back or whatever variables happen, that's just a different timeline that played out due to the changes brought about by someone sending somebody back and interfering with that new timeline that was created. So I don't know, I just found all that really fascinating, as well as just this idea of like nature versus nurture, of free will. And I like the questions that are still kind of up in the air. Was that Terminator lying? Why would a Terminator lie, for that matter? It's never really, well, okay, they've definitely have fibbed a time or two to get their goals met. So it's just like, hey, so supposedly, according to him, if we take what he said at face value, Kenta is the one that sent him back to prevent all this from happening, because I guess at some point in the future, Kenta was able to broker some kind of peace between Skynet and humanity. I don't know, man. It's real hard to trust a Terminator or a Skynet with all of our history, which is kind of the whole point. You kind of just have to take a leap of faith sometimes. It does play into that idea of like, could you ever see me as anything more than what I am? And I guess you could also include the Terminators in that as well, because that question does get raised with the reprogrammed ones that come later, or even the one that fulfilled its duty that we saw in Dark Fate. That I was like, oh, what happens when they get the guy? What happens after that? Well, we got to find out in that, at least. It's one of the more interesting things that was done in that film, which, again, I got a review for that movie. You can check that out if you want, but I don't know. That's one of the things that I find kind of interesting. So it just depends on what was going on here. Obviously, it couldn't take itself out, so that's why it was keeping him along. So it could have been just to kind of keep him invited, try to sway him into doing what he says to execute the EMP. Who knows? We'll never know. I mean, he got dismantled by Kokoro, and Malcolm sacrificed himself, and Misaki fought tooth and nail to protect this family, and this family also stood up for her as well. And then the revelation that Aiko is his mother, Malcolm's mother. That was an interesting twist to kind of throw in there. And I guess the implication is Aiko is also the prophet. There's no like, oh, it's Sarah or anything like that like I was expecting. But I think the implication, especially considering that would make sense why she would know the outcome, know these things, question her about all of this, mentor her in this way. And I don't know. It's I don't know. It's just, all of this is really fun. This is one of the best Terminator franchise pieces of media we've had, I think, since T2. I mean, that bar is not hard to clear, let's be real. But I was really enthralled with this whole journey. I do think sometimes the Kokoro Malcolm stuff, when we would cut back to that, their little conversation sometimes did get a wee bit repetitive. I mean, hell, sometimes they literally restated some of the same things multiple times, or in just different ways. But for the most part, the entire conversation, when you look at it on the macro scale, was a lot of fun seeing them debate all of these different things, talking about life, loss, and then learning the truth about Malcolm and how he knew about all of these different things. The time travel aspect of it, the action, the brutality of this, making the Terminator this threat. And now we're in this world where, Skynet is still out there, but it is locked in a stalemate with Kokoro. Meaning the world is literally on this fucking knife's edge. And really, at the end of the day, if one gets the edge on the other, humanity just kind of like has to sit on the sidelines and be okay with handing their fate over to this entity that has just decided that it wants to be better. Like Misaki, when she first woke up, the way that Malcolm had kind of nurtured her, or guided her rather, towards her discovery of the world. Like, her first thought was like, I want to do this because, I want to honor my creators. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to try to be the best. Like, all of this was a coordinated effort from Malcolm to show Kokoro the worst of, humanity. I mean, and I would say that would be what he did to Kenta. Is probably the worst thing that could have been done. And then the worst in the machines, which is what Kokoro was forced to do when she's just, not even forced to do, what Kokoro did initially, defending herself, is wiping all these people out. And then the Terminator, another example of the worst of machines, going about and killing everybody. And then there's the opposite that showed them the good in humanity, the children, their optimism, Hiro and Raika's acceptance of Misaki. Misaki, the best of machines, as she was she was aspiring, she was protective, she was nurturing of their children. And then on top of that, Malcolm's sacrifice. They're all their sacrifices. They were all putting their lives on the line. Even the revelation about Aiko and the fact that they can't change timelines, but she's still here fighting, and putting her life, risking it for a timeline that's not hers. That's purely selfless. All of this was this chess game to show Kokoro that things aren't black and white. The human race can be good, can change. There are things that we provide to the world, or at least that we carry, that are good or rooted in good, selfless acts, things that kind of transcend just survival, logic, and just nature and all this sort of thing. All these impulses, the violence, there are positive elements that we can bring into the world. It's just sometimes, because of the way things are, we let all of those negative ones come and rise to the surface. And despite our situation or lot in life, sometimes we can't tune out those more primal instincts that shows itself in a lot of different aspects of our life. And we can always try to do better. It's always a choice. And that's, again, goes back to the whole Kokoro thing. Like, she's given all these different options. She's seen all of humanity's history, much like with Misaki when she accessed that database that they had. She looked at everything and was like, why would I choose to be bad? Why would I choose to be all these negative things? And at the end of the day, Kokoro was given this choice because she was on this precipice, because she's seen all the terrible that humanity has done. And he's pleading this case for why they should live, why she should stand up for them. And then, she's like, I want to try to be better. You guys were trying, you guys were fighting, you guys inspired me to want to be the best of my kind. You're just going to have to trust me, just like I'm just going to have to trust you. I don't know. I like that. It's putting things beyond logic and putting things into a place of empathy. It leaves you vulnerable, but that's kind of what you have to do in a situation like that, especially right now. But now with our goal met and Kokoro having made this decision and leaned towards emotion and choice versus logic, things are kind of up in the air. We don't know where things are going to go. We don't know what she's going to do with that Terminator head, with that Skynet technology from the future she's now got. We don't know what the children and Misaki and Aiko are going to do. You know, he was talking about all the knowledge you need is in your head. I presume that is the schematics for time machines, because he was talking about taking them to a whole other time. Are they just going to be like trying to make the next one better and better and better using their knowledge and trying to exponentially improve? Or like they said in the one point, you know, when the Prophet was talking about it, it's an imprecise science that we haven't figured out. We're just stumbling through it all. What if they have the pieces to be able to not stumble through it all? What if they could choose which timeline they went to? What if they were able to figure that out? Because otherwise, I'm just wondering like how the time travel works. Are we always going to be going sideways? Like the next one over, we're just creating new one. Or is there ever a possible way, even if you can't go to your own timeline, but could you go to one and then go back? Can you ever return to a previous point at all? We know that multiple people can enter a single timeline, like the next one over. See, that's a whole other paradoxical element of this. I mean, I guess it just depends, but like, you know, you technically, maybe I'm way overthinking this, you could never have two time travelers in a unique timeline based on that. If every time travel event causes a new timeline to be born, well, I don't know. There was that line earlier where they were talking about we still have time before the timeline itself solidifies. So maybe there's like a window when the timeline is being born that you can enter it. But then that raises the question of, again, time, because it's just all over the place. Because we have him from 2034, her from 2024, and then this Terminator also from 2024. So them going back makes sense. But like he also went back to different points. So they just hit the same window? I don't know. I am getting way down the rabbit hole. That is not the point. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting because he did talk about taking them to another time. So did we fail here? Because Kokoro has decided to save us. I don't know, man. I still think it's a little up in the air about the state of the rest of the world, because I did go back and look at that scene again. And, you know, we saw that missile intercept the missiles that were about to hit Japan, the warheads. And when we saw that sweeping shot of the planet getting littered with explosions, there was none over Japan. Because I read that initially that Kokoro did exactly what she did with Japan to the rest of the world as well. You counteracted all of them before they could hit. Or did they in fact hit? And Japan is the only country intact, and now they're just like, okay, do what you can here. Humanity's at least got a fighting chance, because we at least know that the nukes didn't wipe out the entire population, just a lot of it. So Japan is the most intact at that point. So here we were like, we made some progress. We got everything we need here. We know what to do. Let's go to another timeline. We'll try it again. Rinse and repeat until we get this right. I don't know the implications of that. And I'd love to know your all's interpretations of that, because I rewatched those scenes and it's never stated. It's never said. All we have to go off of is our interpretation of that image of the planet. It very well could have been that Kokoro in this timeline did, you know, like I said, do the exact same thing to all those other missiles, because we still saw the explosions in the sky above the city, you know, safely away from the ground. So it could have just saved, you know, Japan first, and then that all the explosions that we saw weren't actually ground level. It's a little left open to interpretation. I mean, there's like they said, there's infinite possibilities for them to go with if they do get a season 2 of this, and I'd be down to checking it out. I know these videos didn't do well at all, but worst case scenario, I would definitely love to watch a second season, even if it was on my own time or anything like that. This is definitely going to be one to chew on, but I really enjoyed my time with this, and yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys thought. What are your thoughts, your interpretations? Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you're a member of the channel, get you access as well. And speaking of before you go, I want to shout out our channel legends, man. Share Your Scott Melito, Robert Anguiano, Jeffrey L, Jake Contrell, Eric Official, Casey Wood, Russell Crockett, and Sam Moyer. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. But that's it for this video, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.